Good morning, everybody. What is up? Oh, finish updating this. Yes, the car's home. It was a whole process, though, which was really annoying. Like, they really tried to nickel and dime us. It's like we're at a freaking Toyota dealership, and they're like, if you use a credit card, it's a 3% surcharge. And it's like, it's a freaking Toyota dealership. And then the rental car place wanted us to pay for gas at $6.40 a gallon or something like that. All right. Fashionably late. Well, they're still drafting, but it's not that bad. Alrighty. Got a Jurchin sighting, which we haven't seen yet. Sicilians we haven't seen much of either. Or Georgians or Dravidians, actually. Are they bad? They're very good for Koreans and Jurchins. Koreans are usually banned. Jurchins, perhaps as well. I have a very happy corgi behind me. Right. Are we still McNeely free? For the time being. Wow. Today's standout jobs for me from Powell Consulting Group include Senior Cyberspace Joint Operations Planner. That definitely sounds like something I'm qualified for. For years? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've only ever gotten one interview. Uh, admin ban, not hidden bans. It's just they don't fit on the screen. But yeah, basically they randomly ban half the civs every time. Like Chinese are literally the last civ here. And there's a civil service exam if you go into the State Department. Work for the government. I'm actually looking not to work for the government, but rather to work for businesses and organizations adjacent to the government. Like there are basically no government jobs right now. His butt barely touched the floor before he got back up after I told him sit. His oatmeal bowl. Alright, well, they have all the civs. Hopefully we will be getting into this shortly. We did have a lot of the popular civs banned. Bulgarians, Cumans, Turks, Celts, Italians, Portuguese, Bengalis. And some of the weaker civs were also banned. Romans, Malians, Huns, Vikings. Burmese were banned. Mapuche are pretty bad. Slavs are top tier. So are Koreans, Mongols, Saracens, Ethiopians. A dog Instagram. Not something I am willing to put in the work for. Besides, Dash doesn't like going anywhere, so all the pictures would just be of him at home. I will not be woofed at. The dignity of my person does not require me being woofed at by a dog. Okay, seriously, where's the lobby? You have 3 games that you need to pick your civs for, and all 12 civs get used. Sometimes it's just too much to ask for them to start a game. Yeah, I should. My dad just told me to get my coffee. Ugh. how good Viper is at RF. He sure picks bad teams every time. Yeah, Viper never really goes try hard. It's about content for the content gods. Pictures of Ornlu feet. I'm sure at any moment they will create the lobby. How's my dad doing? He's okay. Very slowly getting better. He still has his foot, like one of his feet, like 90 degrees, which makes it really hard for him to walk, but he's at least mostly healthy at this point. Yep, he's kicking. He's actually about to go to the doctor again right now. Yes, man's not. Yeah, basically. Come on, lads. Start the game. Seriously, does it take more than a few minutes to determine which civs you're going to be playing? Like, they could easily just be like, okay, this game number 1, we're going to do Dravidians, Tatars, Wu, Mayan. Game 2, we'll do Aztecs, Georgians, Khmer, Malay. And then the last game would be Jurchens, Byzantines, Franks, Chinese. The options, yep. Also, I think I've been ghosted by another girl. Classic. Hit home, son. Yep. All right. Come on, guys. We got 7 players in the lobby. Now, both these teams lost. DauT's team lost 0-3 to Team Valas, and Team Kingstone lost 1-2 to Team Andy. Alright, so let's see. Kingstone, Dogout, Philip, Dobbs. Oh, and Dog9U. Okay, we got everybody. DauT has DauT, Matza, Raven, Miguel, Jamjack. Yeah. But Kingstone's gonna be rocking the flank. What's my rating at right now? 2006. I kind of went on a streak where I got all the way up to like 2074, I think, is my highest. And then I went like 1-9, and then I dropped down to like 1960. And now I'm back up to a little over 2K. Lacking SO civs. 1, 2. Just 2. Versus 1, 2. You count Jurchins as an SO civ. 3, 4. Yep, double the SO civs. But they put a lot of draft emphasis on Japanese and Persians and Lithuanians, so they have very good cavalry civs. Now, is it better to have a good siege onager civ or infantry siege civ or a good cav civ? It's better to have a good infantry siege civ. You never touched ranked again? There you go. But like, if I'm doing a draft with, whoa, I hit the wrong button. Okay, we're good. I nearly made everything explode. You know, it happens. He'll cast with T-West if he wants to. I don't feel particularly strongly one way or the other today. Hello, Melamadre. But like, what's gonna be your non-paladin pocket civ? Well, is that coming from him or coming from you that he wants casting with him? I think that's actually because you have the Goth pocket as like your non-cav pocket, and then are you maybe doing Japanese pocket? Now, Team Kingstone did have a really big problem with their drafting, actually, in the last series versus Team Andy. I think we could be running into that problem here. Alrighty. Let's do this. Down. Alright. We set up the board of scoring. That is all good, and we are off to the proverbial races. Looks like 3 choke points, with this side being much more defensive than this side is. A little bit of a scuffle here already, but we will have for Team Kingstone. Dog9U, player from Hong Kong, is going to be the red Armenians here on the west flank. Philip is going to be the yellow Goths in the pocket. Dogao is going to be the purple Wei in the other pocket. And the Kingstoner will be the orange Muisca here on the right flank. So you do have an SO Civ here. But it is on the flank, so it's going to probably be very difficult to get to those SOs. On the other side will be Team DauT. They have not won a game yet. We'll have Matza in the blue as the Chinese here on the flank. Raven as the green Tatars in the pocket. Miguelito as the cyan Jurchens in the other pocket. And the Doubtster himself as the Grey Wu here on the west flank. Like already a boar is being lamed. This looks like a 4-pawn setup, or 2 per team. So 1 on each flank over here, and 1 for each pocket over here. If you think that is likely an unfair generation, you would be right. I think it is pretty unfair, because pawns are just so determinative on who can win a game of Rage Forest. And you almost always want the pocket to be fish booming. Vil fighting going. Looks like Team DauT is ahead by a couple Vils at the moment, but of course that is in part because they have Chinese on the team. Ongo. And it's always tricky, right? Because this is the last thing you want as Matza, where you have a forward pawn as Chinese. Chinese don't want to have to go for the early Vil fighting because you don't start with any food. So it's actually really, really tricky. That said, Kingstone is going to fall back and is content to wall up over here. So still pretty close to this pawn, but yeah, could be a lot worse, honestly, here for Matza. This other side still has a little bit of a scuffle over here. It is much more aggressively oriented. You can see that there are kind of paths to both the flank and the pocket here for Team Kingstone, whereas both paths will just lead to DauT on this side. I'm not sure if it's decisive which is better, to have 2 paths, each that lead to 1 player, each that lead to 2 players. I feel like you'd rather have the flank just take the brunt of all the damage and let the pocket chill in peace, but I feel like there are advantages. Easier, it's harder to, you know, completely wall off the allies from each other. Having to take that boar, we'll likely build a mill over there. And things should be getting relatively more peaceful. Don't think too much is happening there. The Vil counts are even between the 2 teams. It's all good. Looking at the Civ matchups, Wu versus the Armenians. Kind of interesting. Armenians do have a very good monk rush and are very good on low eco. Fire archers and traction trebs are very scary, though. Like, this is what the Wu are made for, basically. Armenians will be able to offer their ferrets in the late game as well, whereas Wu don't really have anything very good in terms of actual military units to offer, but the support units of the traction trebs are very good. Your Grenadiers clap Huskarls? Yeah, basically. It's a little bit better than Hand Cannoneer versus Huskarl, which, once you get to large numbers, it's very good for the Hand Cannoneers. Other flank matchup, Chinese versus Muisca. Again, we're looking at 2 very good monk civs, Armenians plus Muisca. pond is massive. It's a pretty big pond over here. It's a pretty big pond over here. These ponds are smaller, but they're in the pockets. Actually, this pond's pretty big, too. This is kind of the small pond. So again, in that low eco situation, I do like the Muisca more than the Chinese. Chinese firepower support is very good, though, in the late game. They're also very good at walling and holding the line with Great Wall. But they are very vulnerable to siege onagers, which obviously the Muisca have with full upgrades. That's only if things go late. Note that Matza still is going to be ahead by around 4 villagers at the moment. 31 seconds idle time, BF flank, not bad. Still, with getting this forward of a wall, this is actually a very good start for Matza. Yes, I feel like I'm literally the only person who hates pawns. It speeds up the game and allows the people with the fish boom to attack sooner. But I just think that, one, it nullifies most of the civs eco bonuses, as there are far more civs that have eco bonuses to not fishing than civs that have eco bonuses for fishing. And I feel like it just creates these super imbalanced scenarios where it's like, oh, well, one guy had the pocket fish boom and has 50 fishing ships, and the other pocket didn't have a fish boom, so he's on like 100 vills to 130 and is just going to get swamped in early Imperial Age. I just don't think that's super compelling. Long distance boar lure there as well. And Kingstone is going to live up to his name, and is going to be going on stone. Everyone up to Feudal Age. Kingstone will be up first, though. And here we go. Anyway, pocket combos. Defense Fortress. Yep, they also can create all those ships and pawn situations. Tadar's likely to contribute. Keshiks could go Cav Archers, but Keshiks are a very cost-efficient unit. Whereas Jurchins, probably Fire Lancer plus Rocket Cart and Bombard Cannon and Towers. So you have a lot of really strong options as Jurchins, but because you can do several different things well, you can, like, in some cases go for Iron Pagodas, some cases you just go for Fire Lancers, sometimes you prioritize Siege, sometimes you prioritize Towers. We'll have to see exactly how Miguel wants to go about that. Goths and Wei, though, definitely feel weaker. This is a pocket combo that wants to win the game very fast. Wei have a good eco, in fact, a very good eco. You can see the stables here already going to try and keep up with the pressure stonewall from Matza. Looks like he was able to save the villagers. Goth's going to want to flood things in early Imperial Age. You don't want to let things get to Thunderclap bombs. And looks like a bit of a tower rush over here. So yeah, this definitely feels much more of an aggressive lineup for Team Kingstone. Weaker draft. I do think the draft was weaker for them overall, but Wei and Goths can flood in early imp, for sure. Meanwhile, DauT is going with the Men-at-Arms here, and they are through. Dog 9U not going to be too happy with that. That's still open as well. Uh-oh. Spaghetti Mr. Yo. What is that tower? Don't you want one, like, right there? I don't know, man. Oh, the Men-at-Arms are just going to make their way over towards the base of this watchtower. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is a disaster for Dog 9U. Like, this doesn't involve the pockets whatsoever. This is just one flank crushing the other flank. You can see both pockets are fish booming, even with the pawns on the flanks. Well, it's like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So instead of SpaghettiOs, it's Spaghetti Mr. Yo's. I think it's pretty straightforward. Anyway, is Miguel going for any military? He is heading into Siege Workshop, but no stable. Oh, I lied. There is a stable. Where? Oh, there it is. So he's going to be adding both Step Lancers and Siege. This is an aggressive play here from Team DauT, and this is just not something that Dog 9U is prepared for. Philip's going to try and accompany with some knights, but that obviously doesn't really feel very good when the other side is Jurchens. Team DauT, big army lead right now. 34 vills. I mean, DauT's only on 35, so it's not like it's a huge eco advantage, and yet this is still very annoying. Pasta from a can? I mean, it's mostly like for kids and stuff. It's honestly fine for what it is. All right, DauT can continue to apply some pressure here. A monastery as well from Miguel. The first rocket cart is out. And that could be applying a lot of pressure here. Meanwhile, this hasn't really accomplished anything whatsoever. Raven's got a defensive mangonel. That ram isn't going to do anything, and right now you're just hoovering around with light cav. Behind this, Raven's adding in more economy. DauT's still stuck on the 1 TC. Okay, well, just as I say that. Is a thing? Yep. Why is DauT not playing flank? Well, it's much different. The roles of flank and pocket are very, very different, and if DauT's only practiced playing the Cav Civ, which is the easiest role to play. Gonna catch those units out. Something, I guess. Remember, you can't garrison fishing ships. Third TC there for DauT, third TC for Raven. Do you have to be a bit careful here? This is one bad mangonel shot away from a DauT castle. This is huge. I guess if you could just delay the fight long enough as Raven, you're happy. Yeah, this is fine. Little scary for a second, but it's all good. You know, like again, it's not great, but you know, for a very cheap, easy to make meal for your kids' lunch, like it's perfectly fine. Anyway, things still seem exceptionally terrible for Team Kingstone. Another TC coming in from Matza. I mean, he's already 10 bills ahead of Kingstone, who's just now adding in his own third TC. Castle's in right there. Got a Haguang Cav even coming in from the other pocket. Look at the spearman go! Meanwhile, this is the thing that's happening, and really it's just everything unraveled over on this side. And this side also isn't doing anything, so this is honestly a very one-sided game number one in favor of Team DauT, who haven't won a game yet, so they probably could use this. Remember, rocket carts are better against buildings than mangonels if there is not masonry researched. Makes it even harder to survive. Danger close there, Miguel. Oh, that's a conversion. Kids eat fresh vegetables? Kids love it. Red make it to Castle Age? No. Again, rocket carts are very good against buildings. That's not happening. It's yes, so that's exactly the case. Oh dear, guys. Deary, deary, dear. That's not adding in a second TC. I really wouldn't have hated for him to add in more eco a bit sooner, but... Oh no, sorry, he just hit Castle Edge, my bad. He's doing fine. I mean, look at this, guys. Oh, no. This is one of the fastest, most one-sided games I've seen on RF this tournament. I wonder what Miguel's KD is right now. 21-6. Not bad, not bad. And again, this side, nothing is happening except the eco of blue and green is better than orange and purple. I said that decisively without actually looking at it, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Dogao's fill count is quite good. Blue's up on his way to imp. Orange isn't. Yeah, this is all... Whoa, I hit the wrong button. Well, thankfully he does less friendly fire damage as the Jertons. But right now, nobody's on a good spot in Team Kingstone. Wechas, are they actually good versus Chukonu? I don't know. I have the feeling that they aren't. They just don't have enough pierce armor for the Chukonu's massive attack. But it's not really a matchup I've seen much of. Fourth TC coming in for the Kingstoner. Everything unraveled with the punch through over here. Yellow wasn't protected enough. Dogao's having to invest a ton into bailing out his allies. And it's just creating such a mismatch. Trebuchet's on the Trebu way. 2 castles to 1. Kingstone not going to be in a great spot to try and do anything here. And it's actually going to be camels from the pocket. Of course, Taughters do have that breadth of cavalry available. But, I mean, against the Wei specifically, it's not like Wei are going to do anything that's good against camels at the moment, so sure, why not? I mean, having that fish boom completely disrupted is such a nightmare. I mean, it's not like Miguel has an insane eco by any stretch, but he does have the fish boom of his own, which helps out a lot. LOS Big Dog trying to get a castle here. We even have Kingstone having to help out this side. That's just how bad things are. Yeah, you're not repairing 4 trebs. I mean, there are only 3 games to play, so no reason, I guess, to give up too soon, but this game has been over for a while. Oh dear, oh no. Weird game. I just don't really know what he was trying to accomplish. You would think that you would play very aggressive Muisca versus Chinese. But it just did not work out. Like, I don't know how you just let the Chinese player get a forward wall like this. You should have been going, like, pretty heavy for a Vil fight, preventing the easy fish boom, like at a tower up right here. In general, making things a mess. You go for monks and castle age, and again, you just don't let them just sit back on this side. Well, that was a pretty good hit. Cav archers? Really? Really? All the cool things that Jurchens can do, and you go Cav archers. S to the M to the H. And they cut through there. Even with all that melee armor, heavy candles are still very good versus Haeguang Cav. Well... this just feels like such a lost cause. Heavy rocket cart cuts through there. Like DauT's gonna go for champions. There are really any number of ways to end this. Elite Chuko is in. I don't know. Lever Tactics increases the armor of nearby units. I wonder if this is a leftover from one of the campaigns or something. The Three Kingdoms campaigns, even though I don't think Chuko feature in it at all. Anyway, honestly, pretty terrible game. Super one-sided, and Team DauT will score their first victory here in Rage Forest 6. His Jurchens and Wu and... no, not mines. Chinese and... Tatars. Over Muisca, Goths, Wei... I mean, so like, it is mostly just low picks for Team Kingstone, but still. Not very good. And you still only have one siege onager still left with the Sicilians. So either game number 2 or game number 3 is going to be kind of weird. And we'll have to see. I could pay attention. Chat's dead. The stream has been dead as of the last, like, almost year of Malamadre, in case you haven't noticed. AoE dead? Yep. Well, the stream isn't dead in a technical sense, just in a cultural sense. All right, we're back in the lobby. Looks like we'll have Jam Jack replacing somebody. Dog9U, I think. Dog9U getting benched after letting DauT in right there. Yikes. Echo? Echo, echo, echo. No, everything should be good. Any moment. Ping? What ping? Alrighty, let's go. Game number 2 in this play all 3. Big choke point over here. And a couple of big choke points over here. Oh, this one's pretty small, but it is a big choke point overall. Could perhaps see something a bit more aggressive. We will have Dobbs tagging in now, and he'll be the red Vietnamese on the north flank. Philip HJS will be the yellow Sicilians in the pocket. LOS Migdog is going to be the purple Persians in the other pocket. And Kingstone is going to be the orange Lithuanians on the flank. Okay, going to be rocking the Lithuanians flank. It is one of those civs that could be either one way or the other. Yes, But I'm confused. What does it have to do with anything? Anyway, DauT's going to be the Gray Malay here on the south flank. Miguel going to be the Cyan Georgians in the pocket. Jamjack the Green Khmer in the other pocket. And Raven will be the blue Aztecs on the north flank. All right, pond situation, just one per team. Now, in theory, you want the Persian player to fish boom and the Sicilian player to farm boom. Oh. Oh. But yeah, everything on my end is totally fine. Now, do you want the Malay player to fish boom on this side? Khmer want to farm. Georgians are happy fish booming. Now it's short. Yep.
Get you arse.
There you go. You figure it out. Actually, Georgians, you still don't get the fortified church bonus for fishing ships, so honestly, Georgians and Khmer both feel happier farming. And then you have DauT fish boom as Malay. I feel like that would be pretty good. We'll have to see who goes to the pond over here. Is Dogao going to send a villager halfway across the map just to go fish boom here? Anyway, this wall's coming in. It will secure the pond, at least in the short run. Gotta love a matinee. Sviken e Mistatibla. So, Civ matchups. Lithuanians versus Malay. I don't love Lithuanians as a flank most of the time. Or at least I'd rather have them be pocket. Like, as a monk civ, they are pretty good, but Malay are going to be one of the harder civs to try and do that against because they will almost always have the uptime advantage. And note that Miguel is actually going to be fish booming, so no doubt Malay fish boom, interestingly. Interesting. Meanwhile, over here, looks like it actually might be the Vietnamese flank who's doing some fish booming. Unless there's a Vil coming forward, which I don't think there is. Okay, so neither of the players I expected to go for the fish boom are doing that. A flank player? If he's playing with the other Onimaru guys, he's almost certainly going to be pocket, but in Rage Forest, he plays it so much that usually the most experienced Rage Forest players are flank. Just because it's so hard to play flank. You have to be good at Vil fighting, you have to be able to not die, or die slowly, and just give your pocket space to do all the things that they need to do. Into the zoo for you. This is always so goofy, seeing him poke through the wall like that. But yeah, it's like, the flank is going to fish boom, but not the flank that you would expect. It just feels like such a waste to not have Malay fish boom. Especially because, again, you have two pocket civs who are happy farming. Take the abuse, in short, yeah. All right. Are like walls? They pretty much are. 6 Vills coming forward, and Raven going to be going with the men-at-arms. I barely talked about the civs, oh my goodness. Aztecs versus Vietnamese. Aztecs, if they want to play aggressive, right? But there is a world where you can be aggressive. And nicely... Well, I mean, the Vill just walks around, right? Never mind, that doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot at all. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Is because they're on flank, Kingstone is unlikely to ever have the eco to get to Lechai unless, like, the game ends up being very passive, which is not likely going to be the case here with DauT. Lithuanians are good at the Vill fight because of the extra starting food, but I would still... I prefer a more dedicated flank save here, like Malay. So he is. DauT coming in, and this is always the danger of having the forward pond. Well, I mean, yeah. Does he ever do anything that isn't cringe and awkward? Alright, feud light here for Dobbs. He will have a defensive tower coming in, but Raven is here on the press. It's because he isn't funny. In general, Trump is one of those people who takes himself way too seriously, and people who take themselves very seriously are not good comedians. Oh no. Oh no, not again! The spirit of Dog9U lives on! Oh no, what a disaster. I mean, that quick gate is just in the nick of time. Never mind. Oh no, chat. Like, this has nothing to do with anybody else in the game. This is all just Raven versus Dobbs. Range coming in for him. Now, at least Philip only has the one choke point to defend. I mean, that's something, but... I mean, you just can't have a player get bodied like this. And overall, Team DauT's going to take a huge eco lead because they have a fish boom and the other side doesn't have a fish boom. Does get the wall down there. Gonna lose a Vill, though. Who dares message me on Discord? Oh, I didn't even realize there was a Borderlands 4 DLC dropping today. Ooh. Anyway, Jamjack's here with some light cav. Wasn't really seeing what he's doing from the pocket. I didn't even have the chance to talk about the pocket matchups. I feel like, again, it might not even matter. Sicilians and Persians are two of the very best in class. Well, I mean, Sicilians not quite as much, but Persians absolutely one of the best in class for a cav civ. So this is not a game that Team Kingstone can afford to lose. Georgians are very good. Khmer are also very good. But I feel it's like more draft priority was used for Team Kingstone here. Now, Philip is going to build the forward siege workshop. He's adding in a second TC. And, oh, this is in on the other side. This is probably the exact thing that Team Kingstone needs, is DauT also kind of dropping the ball. Now, there is a fortified church that's going to be here, and that's an amazing defensive tool, courtesy of Miguel. Kingstone going to come in with a tower, though. All right, things are actually going to be looking very tricky for both sides. I mean, the fortified church is nice. Remember, guys, fortified churches don't improve those fishing ships. Oh, no. Does Miguel think they do? Because they really don't. Not everything is a fish boom sieve. I guess you're delaying it for now, but this is still really... Oh, he actually gets it in. Oh, honestly, a little bit lucky there from Dogao. He should have been running away, not at a tangent from the monk, but nevertheless... Oh, dear. Okay, this is exactly what the Kingstoners needed. All right, Vil counts are even between the two teams. DauT's in a terrible spot. Dobbs is in a terrible spot, but Dobbs, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's much more of an expendable player than DauT is. DauT is the team captain. Yeah, you might need to scooch this back a little bit. There you go. I hate to say it, because I know Dobbs. Nothing wrong with Dobbs, but, you know. DauT should be the best player on his team, right? It's not really that Malay or Vietnamese are a more expendable civ. I mean, they're both good, strong, but not S-tier flank civs. Cannon fodder? Given the state of this game, yes, he's basically just cannon fodder. Because right now, you're defending against both blue and green, with only a tiny bit of help in the form of a few mangonels from Philip. Philip's booming away. He's on 49 to 42 Vils. Going to be getting those Sicilian farms down. They're going to last forever. Well, the issue with Dobbs is that he's Danish. And it's so easy to make fun of the Danes. Because, you know, they're just kind of there. They just kind of exist. They don't have the flashy flair of the Norwegians or the industry and expansive size of the Swedes. They're just, you know, they're there. They're the Danes. It's like the Belgians, man. All right, DauT is almost up to Castle Age, but Kingstone's already here, and he's adding in a third TC. I would actually love to visit Copenhagen. Jokes aside. It seems like a really cool city. Friendly with each other? Yeah, absolutely. Jamjack did get around over here, and is with a forward stable, but it looks like that is slowly getting walled in. And remember, Dobbs is just here to take punishment, basically. And he is doing admirably of that. I mean, the Scandinavian countries, you know, fought wars with each other constantly for, like, centuries, but, you know, in the modern era, they're all very friendly with each other, and it's just poking fun at each other and, you know, friendly rivalries. The Pharaohs are the black sheep of the bunch? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, 4 TCs here for Philip. Jamjack only just now getting his third. Philip is a very good pocket player, by the way, at BF. And right now, we have Dogao approaching with some cavalry as well. Team Kingstone's going to take a little bit of an eco lead. We're in a situation where Miguel has the best economy in the game, but nobody else on his team is in a particularly good spot. Whereas we have the flanks in general in a pretty good spot relative to their counterparts. Kingstone's going to be getting really far ahead of DauT. And, like, Miguel is doing almost nothing here to help his ally. Good quick balls as well. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is some good team play there from Dogao and Kingstone. I mean, this is, like, Jamjack is certainly doing a lot to apply pressure to red. It's just, again, how much extra value do you get from applying so much more pressure to Dobbs? Like, yeah, Dobbs is behind Raven, and looks like Raven's going to try and go for a fast imp. Sicilians can be pretty monk resistant, though, with their unique tech, the First Crusade. Remember, it is basically an extra devotion you can get. Not quite as good as the Teuton team bonus, but still quite good. Wait, why did he just let a bunch of knights in over here? Oh my goodness. Anyway, red's clicked up to Castle Age, will be the last one. And DauT survives. 52 vills for him to the 68 of orange, though. 4th CC now here for Jamjack. This game is certainly not anywhere near as one-sided as the previous one. As far as which units you want to go for, by the way, usually it's Halb Siege or Halb Sergeant Siege for Sicilians, but Sicilians do have very good Cavaliers. I feel like if you're not facing a civ that has Paladins, it's probably fine to go for Hobart Cavalier. Use competitively? No. Definitely not. There is no nothing map that will ever be used competitively. Some maps are just meme maps, and that's okay. Into Catapult Galleon? Well, the Catapult Galleons would help out over here, but you're going to get pushed back really hard no matter what. Pleb map? Black Forest was always popular. If you mean by RF you mean Rage Forest, Black Forest has literally always been popular. All right, starting to push back over here. Dogau's going to try and come in with the castle, but this could be a bit of an opportunity. Got Jamjack here as well.
Okay.
Ooh, canceling the castle there. That's a little ugly. Gonna try and rebuild it to the south. Where it's harder to rush? Well, yeah. New players don't like attacking. It's a lot more pressure to try and make something happen than it is to just sit back. Yeah. All right. I mean, we have a decent amount of crossbow in here, but again, Dobbs is doing yeoman's work with all the stuff he's had to defend against. He actually has a Vill lead over blue due to the fast imp. And Raven's lost a lot. And of course, the Aztec monks are doing Aztec monk things, but block printing is actually their first upgrade. I think there's also something that the big, flashy units are more exciting for casual players than just leveraging fractional advantages with the regular units. To want to play late game? I mean, you want to win, right? That higher level is just competitive. That's how it works. Anyway, fortified walls are going to buy time. And Jamjack will try and get into elephants, which will do... Well, okay, no, actually, never mind. He isn't going for Cavalier. It's back to Sergeants and Halbs. Donjons are great for pushing, though. Meanwhile, Dogau here with Cavalier. Gonna be pushing back as Team Kingstone have just an enormous eco advantage as poor Raven's basically dead. But it's funny because you have like all the tryhard players at like mid to high-ish elos who only want to play anything aggressive. Because that's the fastest way to climb ranks, right, is to play aggressive. Shorter games. Oh, those elephants aren't doing anything. Elite Battle Elephant coming in, but it's a tough spot. Got some halbs here for Kingstone. Castle there is going to go down. I mean, the spawn towers are a nightmare to push through, but if you don't have them set up, then it doesn't really matter. Hunter's trying to cut around over here from Miguel. But also, despite what people think, there is no correct way to enjoy Age of Empires. You know, just play it how you want. If you like early game, you can do that. If you like late game, you can just play those games. Alright, Petard in right there. And the keeps are coming in here, and that's going to be really good at buying time. There are no siege rams in yet. Cheap with Celts, then that makes you a toxic Featherbucker, but, you know, it's not technically wrong. Time to touch grass? I mean, unless you're getting paid to do it. Which is why I've come around to the side that people should just be allowed to pick the maps they want to play. A little low? Nah, he's fine. It's perfectly normal to be on less pop than minutes in the game. Favor the current map system? I used to be like, okay, come on. If you want to be a well-rounded ranked AoV2 player, you need to be able to learn how to play different maps. But over time, I've just been like, eh. Well, Team Kingstone still have a big advantage. DauT is going to be able to support with some Arbalests, but the Savars are here. Now, the Georgian halbs are better than the Lithuanian halbs in head-to-head combat. It's actually going to add in some skirms as well. Oh, those trebs are going to mostly survive. I'm still not too sold here, though. Poor Team DauT. Well, I mean, elephants are good. You need to get good old tusk swords. Still, oh yeah, one of the best combos here. Garrisoning the donjons with archers. That's really strong. Arena? I mean, I would mostly play Arena if I was allowed to. I mean, I do mostly play Arena, but I also Q dodge a lot. Oh, those elephants are going down. Team Kingstone do have probably an insurmountable advantage at this stage. I mean, the thing is, you can contribute monks with almost nothing in terms of economy. You know, I think I'm 2006 right now. And there's the GG called. Team Kingstone will tie us up. Hate playing Feudal Age? I do as well. I've at least learned that Steppe is just an FC map, if if you can get away with it. But yeah, that was definitely a game that you needed to win as Team Kingstone. And then Dobbs, horrible start, but being able to rally around this pond to defend, absolutely huge. infinite eco in campaigns, because it's the only way to make them difficult. And it also allows for more scripted experiences. How many rounds in the RF group stage? Don't ask me questions I don't know. 4, I think? Sicilians and Persians and Lithuanians and Vietnamese. Yeah, I can see a lot of draft priority was used right there. Meanwhile, Khmer, Aztecs, Malay, and Georgian, so more of a mixed bag. So we already know the civs for the last game. Japanese, Burgundians, Gurjaras, 2P. That feels worse than this. Byzantine Mayan flank, Dravidian Frank pocket. Even Civ matchups? No, I think Team DauT have the Civ advantage. Also, other than 2P definitely being flank, I don't really know the orientation of the other civs. We've seen Japanese, Gurjaras, Burgundians all played on both pocket and flank. Much more straightforward for Team DauT. Elite katas? It is unlikely that we will see elite katas. Because you only play Byzantine's flank, and it's really hard to get to cataphracts. The 12 limit? That would be super annoying. Feels irritating? I mean, how often do you have armies larger than 60 units? Not that often. And oftentimes you'll have like around 60 units, and then like some siege units that you would have on a separate control group anyway. That's the whole game. Yeah, like, the thing is, you don't really need to train, you don't need to change the basic formula. Any minute now. Is it raining? No, it's sunny. They can be. Except Crambits and Blackwood Archers are both very good. Well, especially Blackwoods. Any moment now. I guess I'll get more coffee. I'll be right back. Right. I return in here for game number 3. We will have 4 Team DauT. Definitely, I think, the more straightforward civs, at least. We'll have Matza as the Blue Mayans to the southwest. Raven as the Green Franks in the pocket. Dravidians for Miguel in the Cyan as the Dravidians in the other pocket. And then Byzantines here for DauT in the gray on the north flank. Very, very spiderwebby Black Forest generation. You have purple way off on Neptune all by himself. Anyway, already a bit of a scuffle over here, but it's a very narrow choke point. This will likely just get walled off. And this also likely going to get walled off. So, although there are 4 direct paths to get from one side to the other, They're all very narrow, and you can see that this has already basically just been won by Kingstone. Already have the mill in over there. So, let's see. Mayans versus Gurjaras. Mayans do have the ability to, you know, get to around 80 archers to, or arbs or plumed archers, and do a lot of supporting fire stuff. That said, Gurjaras are also really dangerous in the right situation. Shrivamsha riders flooding in with like armored elephants could be really tough for Mayans to stop. Chakram throwers can be really good as well. And they can offer bombard cannons. So it's not like Gurjaras are a top tier Black Forest civ by any means, but they do have some very dangerous options, as do Mayans. Although I still like Gurjaras a bit more in general. Da bear. Byzantines here for the Doubtster, and a 2P for Dobbs. I mean, to be fair, Byzantines are one of the civs that are better at defending against the Blackwood Archer stuff. I played 2P a couple times recently, and I gotta say, Blackwood Archers are still really silly. There just isn't enough of a reason to do anything else. 80 Chakram throwers? Nothing. You need to rely on your pockets. But yeah, Byzantines definitely feel like a better civ, more well-rounded overall than 2P. And then here we are, Japanese pocket and Burgundian pocket versus Frank pocket and Dravidian pocket. I don't know. I get Japanese have a great fish boom and all. I still don't think they're as good of a pocket civ as the Dravidians are. I mean, Japanese halbs are a bit better, but not by, like, an enormous margin. Yasuma towers and Catapruto trebs are also quite good, but Dravidians do have elephant archers and siege onagers to offer. Well, yeah, because none of the American civs have a unit that has higher than 2 base melee armor. At least regular land units. And then Burgundians versus Franks just feels like Franks and worse Franks. Although Burgundians are in purple, and Burgundians do get extra powers by being, you know, the purple Burgundy. Very much so. Miguel's gonna have a bit of a fish boom. Dravidian fish booms are already pretty funny because they're not actually that great because it takes so long to drop off the fish. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy is happening over here. And the game is going to be pretty passive early on. Team DauT does have a slight vill lead, though. 7 fishing ships in total to 9, so it's actually regular villagers in which they have the advantage. Looks like just 1 villager has been lost this game so far. But yeah, Burgundians just don't feel like they're better than Franks at all in any real way. In the context of Black Forest 4v4. It's funny because Burgundians are by far the better 1v1 civ in most settings. SA civs have found a place. 2P still feel a little bit awkward because of Blackwood Archers. But other than that, yeah, they're mostly pretty good. Do Kusulia beat Paladin? No. Franks are really good when you have other civs to cover up their weaknesses. Anyway, our Kingstoner will be the first one up to the Feudal Age, and it is just going to be a stone wall over here. I mean, if anything, you'd think that Gurjaras would play the higher eco style relative to Mayans. I mean, you could even try going for, like, a big Castle Age push with the Armored Elephants and Shrivamsha Riders if you really wanted to. Or you can just play towards late game. I mean, the thing is, Gurjaras are a lot tougher of a civ to play than Mayans are. I mean, with Mayans, it's just wall, get to a bunch of archers. can either do that with a low eco or a pretty big eco.
Prêt.
Bloop.
Oui. Prêt.
Kingstone not going to be going for a very quick castle age time, though. I mean, he rushed up to feudal age, but didn't really do that much with it. It also walled up over here. Where is the forward from... Wait. So it's like, why is there a forward from Raven?
Namaste.
I don't love this, honestly. Like, it feels like your Franks and your counterpart is Burgundians. Just play standard. You're the better Civ. Yeah, I mean, if you dock the pond, it could be good. But now a stable coming forward. But like I said, if you literally both just play a super standard default game, Franks have the edge here. I mean, Raven can still get some damage done for sure, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. Yeah, but that's assuming that the Gajara player gets to camels, and remember, this is flank Gajaras, not pocket Gajaras. Kingstone is unlikely to be able to go for camels for a very, very long time. See, Matza already up to castle age. Mining stone, so it will be for the castle drop approach. And there's the second stable. And this is still completely open, by the way. Why? I have no idea. Wait! I thought they saw this. That's why Orange built the wall, right? Right? Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, it's a big gamble, but this could easily pay off for Raven. Oh my goodness. I totally thought they saw it. I mean, right now, Dogao is just booming. And the camel will find the scout, so obviously you gotta know something's up, but you got double stable knights that are gonna be coming in over here. Yeah, and he's gonna ping that choke point. Purple scout's gonna go down. Those TCs need to be rushed up with a little bit more priority, Dogao, as the scouts are gonna come in. Siege Workshop, Monastery as well. Now, Orange is about to be castled, just now finishing the barracks, though. And will likely need to go for some camels, at least in the short run. Whereas Matza's now coming in with the castle drop, and things are already looking very unfortunate for Team Kingstone. DauT's going to go for a fast imp with Byzantines. Shocker. And Dobbs is going to try and boom with the 2P, which feels like it is not destined for domestic success. Like, what are you booming into? A bunch of chompies to try and swap DauT before you could ever get to cataphracts? That'd be my guess. Extra TCs are coming in, but Vills are going to go down. And again, it was a very risky play, especially to do with a better Civ. But you can't complain for something that's working. And there's always value to a strategy, even if it's suboptimal, if it completely catches your opponent off guard. This is the danger, though, is that the Gajara player just switches into camels. And what's critical here is that because Kingstone himself got very forward walls over Matza, it means he has space to fall back to. He's going to build a defensive siege workshop. The camels are going to come in here and help deal with green. Although he's already lost, what, 6 villagers or so? Actually, only 3, so it could be worse. Okay, here's siege sounds. Oh, there's the ram. There's a monk, and that stable is in jeopardy. Double monastery even here for Raven. I mean, this is super, super aggressive from the pocket. A castle on his walls because there's nothing that he can do with 1 TC. Oh, the monk is going to be a little bit out of position. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You gotta test your opponent. Gonna accept the 1 conversion right there. This is something that you'd probably be much less thrilled doing if you saw the double monasteries, which I think you'll see right. Nope, still only sees the 1 monastery. Still, what is Kingstone doing? He is defending his pocket. Dogao is booming away. He lost, what, 1 bill? Yeah, not the end of the world. 63 bills for him. He still has a fish boom. Meanwhile, Yellow Philip also has his own fish boom. He's on 65 villagers. And a bit of a pause. Team Kingstone have a big Vill lead, but Team DauT have a big army lead. DauT's going to be Imp shortly. Miguel's got a few Mangonels to help support this. And again, I'm not entirely sure what Dobbs is doing. That's going to go Arbs. I mean, it's still going to be so long before you get to a good number of Imperial Age Chompies to defend against this. And no fortified wall for the 2P. I mean, logically, they shouldn't even have stone wall, but I think an American Civ without even stone walls would probably not be one that you could balance around. Not for how AoE 2 works. In my channel, well, considering I don't cover AoE 3 whatsoever, I'm going to go with no. The only AoE 3 content I ever did was just playing the campaigns. I mean, it's not like the Vill count is that insane for Dobbs. He's only on 43 at the moment. Things are certainly very messy, though. The guy's got a couple monks over. Does he have redemption? Don't think so. Another stable for Raven. But here's the thing. Kingstone's Vill count, not super good. He's lost 7 Vills and has a gajillion years of idle TC time. But he's surviving. And that's really the most important thing right now, because 78 Vills to 48 for the Burgundian pocket relative to the Frank pocket. And that's the downside of doing this as Raven. Well, unfortunate there. Skates are coming in. I mean, and Phillips had to do nothing at all. So, again, there is something to be said for that. Bombard cannon's coming out, and, I mean, how long can Dobbs realistically defend? We may even see a Cav Archer opening over here. Now, Scale Mail armor coming in. Cyan clicks up to Imperial Age, and the Plumed Archers have arrived. Oh, boy. The repair. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Matza, no. Oh, jeez. Like, again, it's not like things are going well. I mean, the 1 TC blue has more villagers than the formerly 3 TC for orange. And yet, there's been so much effort on this side to try and do, well, a bunch of disruption. And Dogao's chilling. He's got Cavalier out. That's going to start to put a stop to this very soon. And again, it's all about Kingstone surviving. Now, Dobbs is going to come in with some guard towers, but, I mean, again, it's just about holding the line for the pockets. Fortified wall for Yellow, making sure he's not getting attacked, but again, I'm not entirely sure what Japanese are going to do. You have a few options, though. But yeah, of course, the Castle Age Cavalier are going to be better than the Frank Knights. Just same thing, but with 2 more attack. Both cavalry units, heavy cavalry units with 120 HP for 2 civs that don't get bloodlines. Anyway, Kingstone has replaced a starting town center, and it's going to start to boom back up again. Blue still only on 1 TC, which I don't love, to be honest. Miguel's going to open halves. Again, I feel like Philip needs to make some sort of transition a little bit sooner. Castle number 2 coming in. But Cavaliers gonna be doing work. +2 defense not in yet, though. Mangonel coming out. Oh, this is a very well-positioned Mangonel. Oh my goodness. Oh, DauT! Remember, whoever wins this game going to be getting at least 1 win in total on the board. Whoever loses is going to go down 0-2. All right. Castles, is he going Samurai? That's a nut. I think he is. Wait, no, he's getting archer upgrades. It's just a lot of castles he's building. Boarding's coming in very quickly. Trebuchets as well. Got onagers from Miguel, but you don't really have an army, which is kind of an issue. Castle just being built right next to the first one for blue. And yet, Team Kingstone is surviving. They have around a 70 villager advantage. Wait, what about DauT and Matzo? But I mean, yeah, like, look at this. Cyan just gonna switch into some swordsmen as well. Got a Peruta coming in, so I guess Philip's just relying on Trebs, but that's not gonna be a good way to spend all the resources you have, especially all the food from your fish boom. That should get a bombard cannon. Okay, no, moved it just in the nick of time. So Philip, focused on defending, still keeping the castles alive. Red has been able to escape with a lot of his vills. I mean, a lot are kind of over here, though, so maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, and just going to be going over to this other castle. This is where having the extra HP to give you more time is huge. But still, Cataparuto Trebs with the artillery fire can hold the line. At least they're saving the best game for last here, as both sides taking some pretty big swings at each other, but I feel like things are coming up for Team Kingstone. Blue's only on 60 vills. Green's back on... Or, green. Orange is back on 76. Blue still hasn't clicked up to Imperial Age, because again, I don't love just this very low eco approach. Got some armored elephants over here, and yet, look at this. I was worried that this would be too slow for Philip, but he is holding the line. He's on 167 vills, and it's all Trebs right now. And this is very difficult to push. Oh my goodness, look at that. 2 more bombard cannons have fallen. Now, I would like to see some meat and potatoes units, aka infantry, archers, or cavalry. And we're going to have some guard towers coming in as well, as the Japanese player is entirely focused on fortifications. Also, I'd like to point out that Japanese as a tower civ shouldn't have hoardings. They're not a defensive civ. Chinese also tower civ, they don't have hoardings. Koreans tower civ, don't have hoardings. Wonder victories? No. It creates very, very boring defensive gameplay. Alright, trying to get some trebuchet snipes, but we are at 9 trebs with Cataparuto and Siege Engineer. Look at that! Paladin is in for Jokao, and just imagine how much scarier this would be if you had a green player. Oh, I mean, that is a lot of siege elephants. That's a lot of siege elephants, but there are paladins here, and I don't think they're going to survive long enough. Yep, this might be over for Team DauT. And despite all the RF that Viper and DauT are playing, oh my goodness, it might not be enough. Philip just holding the line here with those trebuchets after a completely uninterrupted boom. Yes, Team DauT absolutely have the better civs, which begs the question as to why you just didn't have Raven play super chill and get to Paladins. And now it's going to be Samurai. I mean, it's not like Cyan has really the capacity to go for Urumi whatsoever. And even then, I have no idea who wins between Samurai and Urumi. They technically counter each other. Well, I have no idea why Matza just doesn't have the eco behind this. You need somebody with a good eco. Raven at least disrupted Orange a lot, but I feel like he needed to do a bit more to keep Dogao from booming. I mean, as it stood, Kingstone was basically just able to absorb all the pressure 2v1, and then Dogao was able to pretty comfortably get to his Burgundian Paladins. Crazy Overroom. He's making really only trebuchets at this point, or at least up to this point. So if you're focusing mostly on defenses and siege units, which some civs will do, in this case Japanese, then you don't need a ton of pop space for military. Now, as the focus switches more to champion or samurai and halberdiers, then you're going to want to delete some villagers, but it's not... like, as it stands, this isn't really bad from yellow at all. You can see he's already down 20 villagers to make more pop space. But yeah, now the Japanese towers are coming in. Well, Porting doesn't affect towers. It does if you're a donjon. Cav Archer's coming in. I was thinking he might go for that earlier. And these Dravidian armored elephants are not really doing much at all. Not too sure why it was such a heavy emphasis on them, especially no boot steel, so they're still pretty bad against really all enemy units. And indeed, Dobbs, I think the original plan was to try and swamp with Chompies, with the Byzantine player caught on the low economy, which I don't think is a bad idea in general if you're able to survive. And again, credit to Dobbs for at least staying alive with enough bills to ever even make the switch happen. And right now, things all feel like they're coming off for Team DauT. This is a bit annoying, though, for sure. The Plumed Archers are going to frolic forward. But geez, guys, Metza is on 136 vills and still in Castle Age. Like, this is just not, I feel like, how you play Mayans. Well, I mean, it's how you can play Mayans in 1v1, but it's not usually how you play them on Black Forest. Anyway, I don't think a whole lot's going to be stopping the pockets here for Team Kingstone anytime soon. Castle not coming in. More Chompies for Dobbs. Well, it doesn't have a castle yet, so no Caciques. I mean, this is decent for Miguel. And I do feel like Miguel is playing quite well, all things considered, but there's only so much he could do. And I will say I didn't love the Siege Elephant play, but I think they realized they needed to push very quickly. There just wasn't enough halbs there in time. But yeah, now DauT stuck on a low eco. Maybe with 2P, you just, or like with DauT against the 2P, even if your initial plan is to go fast imp with Byzantines, maybe you change tact and go for a more defensive approach, because 2P aren't going to be very good at breaking through you very quickly whatsoever, especially with Byzantines, and then you just get to cataphracts and stuff like that. Maybe that would have been a bit of a better approach from DauT. Anyway, Green's coming online finally. He's on 162 bills, and he'll have his rank Paladins, which are certainly going to be very good. But I worry that it's just too far gone at this stage. Miguel's trying to make it happen, though. Miguel's actually lost a lot of his eco. Remember when it was on 160 villagers? Or, I'm sorry, Phillips lost a lot of his eco. Does he have Wood Steel yet? Miguel, get Wood Steel. And, like, they're right in the trade line. That's a great castle, and so is that. Maybe a bit out of position. Remember, the civs are better for Team DauT if this goes on long enough. Kingstone's going to be here with his Elephant Archers. Certainly a reasonable unit to go for. And they're actually going to be, I think, the best Elephant Archers against Paladins because of all the melee armor you can get. I don't know, guys. The score is still very good for Team Kingstone. Do you think Team DauT have a chance? Because I really think they do. More trades getting killed. The Janitor is on its way for Miguelito. And now you're going to be looking at Burgundian Paladins versus Frank Paladins, and that's just obviously a huge advantage to the Franks. The Burgundians not going to be doing so hot there, but now Elephant Archers here for the Kingstoner. Paladins raiding from Raven. Raven, more like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Oh, now the Elephant Archers are camping the trade, though. Oh, Kingstone gonna be racking up those kills. Yeah, still missing Frontier Guards and Kshatriyas, but Team DauT's eco not doing so well. DauT is almost completely dead at this point. Chompy's here. Yeah, they do need to get Arson. That's going to help them destroy buildings a lot faster. Ooh, Yellow's even getting access to a little bit more stone for towers. Signature move of Kingstone. Kingstone has played very well in his set, this set so far. And I thought he played well the other days, too. Skirms are here for Matza, but Mayans going skirmishers doesn't feel super good. Huge fortified walls, though. DauT's pop is still not especially exciting, though. Built a watchtower on this hill once you reach the feudal age. Yes, Kingstone absolutely playing as a captain. The thing with Kingstone is that he's been put in a lot of very tough positions and has been able to survive and then get to a point when he's able to contribute. That said, we really need to seize those unique techs in from him. Kurtara's, both of their unique techs are absolutely insane. Whereas DauT's on 50 pop right now. And I think that there is something to be said that you shouldn't have the captain play a low population style. And DauT did this with the Malay, right? Kind of low eco. So I think maybe if you're having the captain play flank, maybe they should still try and get, you know, eventually get to their big economy in the way that we see some flanks go about it. Like, that's, again, I think Kingstone, as the team captain, as the best player on his team, at least, you know, pound for, I mean, you have DauT, to be fair, but DauT's not really a BF player. But still, like, on paper, mechanically, Kingstone should be the best player on his team. And he's making sure that he's always going to be able to contribute. All right, Chompy's in here from red. That was a TC from Miguel. Pretty funny. And so Gao's trying to reclaim the relics. Lol. Anyway, DauT trying to hold the line here with some archers, but there's just very little he can do to contribute at the moment. Blue's on 200 pop, but he's making trash units. Not really very exciting. I mean, the walls are good here from Matza, but Raven gonna try and add some stone walls as well. Relics left to pick up. Wait, hold on. It's this one. There's still 7 relics technically left to pick up. Now, Team DauT are down 200 population. But they aren't dead yet. Well, I'm not dead yet! They're trying to stall. They're trying to buy some more time until they can really get DauT back in the game. Onager coming in for the Mayans player. Miguel still doesn't have freaking Woot Steel, man. It's such a good upgrade. It is almost always at minimum +3 attack. Because usually, even if the enemy unit has 0 base melee armor, the blacksmith upgrades give you 3 melee armor in total. So again, in almost all situations, it is at least +3 attack. Often more. Oh, Paladin's coming in over here, and those trebuchets are finally going to get sniped. That's going to be a big win for Team DauT. And the ARBs here from DauT do help make sure that the Halbs don't do anything. Alright, still, the walls have been breached to the south. Kingstone, get your freaking upgrades, man! Hours coming in here from Philip. Still, Red's having to fall back. And Team DauT are hanging on. They do have trade. It's a pretty good trade route as well. It actually might even be slightly better than this side. It's 104 gold a trip. This is 108. Yeah, it's actually a little bit better, even with one of their players' bases completely eviscerated, but that's just kind of how this map architecture works. Again, remember, Team DauT do have the better civs. DauT should have fish boom. I think the question is, do you ever have the flank fish boom? And it feels like the consensus among the Black Forest players is that the pockets always should fish boom if able. Don't know how that castle got so low in HP, but it looks like it's going to survive for now. And please, for the love of our Lord DauT, get Frontier Guards. It's a very good upgrade. Paladin's going to snipe some trebuchets there. It's tricky. Well, I mean, that's what I said in the very beginning of the game, Transmusic, is that if you have Frank Paladins versus Burgundians, like, what on earth are Burgundians going to do in early imp if you just, you know, steamroll in with a bunch of Frank Paladins? It's just Burgundians aren't as good as Franks, which makes sense considering that Franks were pick 5, and actually Burgundians were also pick 5. That's kind of surprising. And Burgundians do have a better boom than Franks, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal in a Black Forest context. Anyway, Japanese Halbs are in, and especially without Woot Steel, the Dravidian Halbs are going to be nowhere near as good. The 2P Halbs aren't all that great as Blast Furnace, but at least you get resources back, I guess. Oh, he's just now getting Caciques. Yeah, that should have been in a while ago. I don't know why everybody in this game is really not getting their unique techs as they should. Anyway, guys, here we are. Big pushback. Castle has fallen. Hours coming in here from Philip. DauT still holding the line. And DauT, he has reboomed up to around 100 villagers. His army is still basically non-existent, but getting that eco back is the first step. Now, Samurai are going to come in, and that is going to put Raven in a very difficult position where he needs Paladins on both sides. Oh, also, Philip is making this push here through the middle of the map. Very nicely done. Has some petards here, and he's going to be able to support with some Cav Archers. And Dobbs here with all of his 2P units. Yeah, Chivalry's in. Raven got the memo and learned that unique techs are in general very good. And the issue right now for DauT is, like, there isn't a whole lot he can do that's useful. I mean, the Burgundian Paladins are still decent units, but it's just you're making a categorically worse version of what your opponent is doing. So it's really hard to find an advantage there. As the Japanese are going to come in and they're going to start absolutely obliterating buildings with Samurai. One of the best civs at blitzing through enemy bases. Still, Byzantine Castle's going to be there. You've got some siege onagers and some range units, and it still have very tiny choke point and no onagers at all on this side, I believe. Might be one of those times it's worth cutting through. Actually, it's going to be the other side where Miguel's going to cut around. All right, Elephant Archer numbers really haven't recovered as due to the constant fighting. Group transport, that's what they're troop transport and for having units go over walls. All right, now gonna be able to get some more stone and gold over here. And the game is gonna march onwards. Looks really bad for both teams at various points. Got some keeps coming in here from Philip. And we got DauT. He's on 125 fills again. He is going to be pretty much back up to full speed very shortly. Even mixing in some Hussars, which is not what you want as DauT. I don't actually have no idea why he's mixing in Hussars. Nobody's going for mass monks on the other team, and you'd rather just make paladins. Still, the keep DPS here for Japanese is absolutely ridiculous. That's more than going to make up for the fact that you have the better paladins as Franks, and also the Elephant Archers provide a lot more backline DPS than the Skirmishers do. DauT can do gunpowder, and Burgundian bombard cannons, or BBBC, are probably one of the better supporting units you can do. And Franks can also do bombard cannons, and they get siege engineers, but don't have the extra range. Anyway, it looks like inexorably Philip HJS is continuing to move forward. Paladins are trying their best to snipe trebuchets. But this is still really tricky as the Japanese army's flooding in. Yeah. No. That is different, Aura. That's a very, very different thing. Alright, Kshatriya's now coming in. Again, why was this not done sooner? And he still doesn't have Frontier Guards. Okay, now he's getting it. It's like somebody yelled at Kingstone to get his unique tax. The Paladins here are holding the line from Raven. Red is gonna start to struggle to push here. Dobbs actually still needs to get some more upgrades. Oh, that's such a late conscription, man. I think he just didn't have a castle for a very long time. But yeah, you really needed to be getting those sooner. Miguel make a castle? He used to have a castle, but he doesn't anymore, and he got neither of his unique techs. Healing would be nice, although not critical for the siege elephants. It would be insane for the halbs and with wood steel. Like, that's such an important upgrade. And that's actually also good for the siege elephants because it makes them go from dealing 1 damage to most things to 8 damage. And trying to push this back over here. It's going to hold the line for now, but Team DauT actually kind of running out of army. Their eco's quite solid. They just don't really have the units at the moment. You have some Eldorado Eagle Warriors with full upgrades, which isn't that bad. There's nothing here that's especially good against them. I mean, that would require Orange really to get into Chakram Throwers, which you only have 2 castles, and one of them's very far away, so that's not really an option at the moment. At least Frontier Guards is in. That's something. Philip trying to push here as the game's starting to get laggy. We have Bombard Towers here for DauT with Greek Fire. I mean, DauT's back at 200 population. He was out at like 50 for a long time. Elephant Archer is still at 23, which isn't that insane. Some units coming in over here. Some skirmishers from DauT to hold the line as well. The bombard towers do great at that. And they create at least a bit of a stalemate, but Team Kingstone still have such an overwhelming army numbers advantage. More towers coming in. This might be the straw breaking the camel's back. This push is continuing over here steadily. I guess this really isn't doing a whole lot on this side. But yeah, this push just seems like it's getting impossible to stop. Matza was never able to get to those like 80 to 90 arbalests that you really want, or plumed archers, especially considering the enemy civs have no siege onagers. Like, you're playing Mayans into no siege onagers, it feels like it would be really good if you could get to the huge number of arbs, but I think that Matza did kind of misplay this entire approach. Trebs are going to be able to take down the bombard towers one by one. And over double the army value here for the Kingstoners. Lost the first game, but I mean, they lost the first game pretty horribly, to be honest, but able to march right back and likely win 2 in a row. Gonna take down that finally, and again, more Japanese keeps incoming here. So much damage. Got that mix of chompies and halbs. Yeah, again, so long as this is like a stalemate over here, this side is continuing to push for yellow and red, and the same here for orange and purple. As Team DauT is seemingly getting squeezed on all sides. And the trade is about to be getting eviscerated. More towers from Philip. Got some Drummonds here. I just felt like this game really didn't have Team DauT exploit the civ advantages they had. Byzantines were stuck on a very low eco, despite having a far better post-Imperial Age than the 2P. Mayans also, again, kind of on a low eco, despite not facing a Siege Onager civ where you could get up to a bunch of plumed archers, like one of the players did in one of the previous sets. There's a relic over here, and there's a relic over there. Oh, that monk is actually stuck. Rip. Tamari Shiva Mahaja. Yeah, now the LE Archer numbers are climbing up as well. I mean, it's like blue never really made any gold units. It's just, yeah, there's the GG called, guys, and Team Kingstone is going to be winning this series 2-1. And I really have to say that this, like, the second game, they probably had a bit of a better civs, and it was pretty decisive, just how they approached it. This game, they had worse civs, and things looked pretty tricky for a while, but it just felt like you weren't able to leverage those advantages, like I said, as the DauT team pockets and flanks. Miguel never getting his unique techs as well. Huge role in this game. I mean, Medical Core is decent, but like I said, not having Woot Steel for an hour and 15-minute game as pocket Dravidians is honestly kind of inexcusable. Kingstone with Elephant Archers, of course, gets the best KD. DauT still with 700 kills as well. I mean, he did his best, for sure. Noga able to remain relevant versus the enemy Franks player at 5,000 more gold, which certainly helps. Hello, Trirem. Is there a link I should look at? Oh, my goodness. New expansion. Ah! Ah! All right, we're going to record for YouTube. Hey guys, it's Ornlu, and I am recording this live. We actually just finished a Rage 4 6 game, and we have a new DLC announced for AoE 2 and some other stuff as well. I've only just caught a quick glance of everything. So yeah, let's check this out together. I am really interested in it. AoE 2 has been pretty quiet on the content front for quite a while, so let's go ahead and see what is up. So the new DLC, if I can read that, is called the Viking Sagas, so we'll take a look at that in a second, but let's just go through these posts. The first 6 months of 2026 have been filled with memorable moments across the Age franchise. We've explored new legends and civilizations, welcomed players to new platforms, and cheered alongside fans at Red Bull Wololo, and watched our communities continue to create, compete, stream, mod, and do all that fun stuff. Before we look ahead to what's next, let's take a look at some of the highlights from 2026 so far. The Last Chieftains was announced. There was Age of Mythology stuff. There's Red Bull Wololo. AoE 4 stuff. We had The Last Chieftains, as well as coming to Mac. And here we are. World got its first look at the upcoming Raiders of the North expansion. I think this... Oh, well. Here, let me minimize my face.
In the frozen north,
Hey,
we know
YouTube.
only one way of life.
YouTube, work. Oh no. Trirem! 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 Uh-oh, chat. This is all Trirem's fault. Alright.
In the frozen north,
Ah!
we know only one way of life.
This is making a great YouTube video, by the way.
Thunderous crash.
Alright, let's try this again.
In the frozen north, we know only one way of life. We know the thunderous crash of the waves against our ships. We know the bite of cold steel.
Oh wait, no, this is AoE 4. Oh! Oh, they're doing... Oh, okay. They're doing a Vikings expansion for AoE 2 and one for AoE 4. LOL! Okay, AoE Mobile, who cares? Across the 75 million players. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Alright, AoE 4, I'm honestly not very interested in. Obviously good for them that they're doing Viking stuff and getting more content, but this is what we care about. More Norse, of course. Coming this fall with Age of Empires 2 Definitive Editions, the Viking Sagas. Oh boy. Here, get my face back in here. Raiders of the North isn't our only foray into Scandinavian stories this fall, as the next expansion for AoE 2 DE is the Vikings Sagas. The Viking Saga brings 3 new civilizations: the Danes, the Saxons, and the Varangians. Can still hear the game? Oh yeah, whatever. Interesting. So I thought it would be Vikings, or Vikings maybe renamed to Norse, and then Danes and Swedes, but we're instead getting Vikings. I think we're keeping. And then we're adding the Saxons and the Varangians. All right, so The Viking Saga brings the Danes, Saxons, and Varangians. Use the Danes' unique Jomsviking unit to raid and hurl flaming torches. Ooh, that's fun. Wield the Saxons' Hearth Troop, a heavy infantryman which opens fights with a ranged javelin before closing in. Or send out the Varangians' Jarl to hurl axes and tear through enemy infantry. This is already a unit in the game right now. It's like an editor unit. Follow the life of Harold Hardrada in 3 campaigns, from his cunning exploits across the Mediterranean, his brutal raids across the Danish coast, to his daring invasion of England in 1066. This is like Vikings Valhalla, the TV show. If you've seen that, it's very good. So we'll go through the Skald's tales from Scandinavia to the Kievan Rus and the Byzantine Empire before staking everything on England's shores. In this new story, you'll encounter powerful antagonists, including the duplicitous Empress Zoe, the dangerous King Svein Estridsson, and the battle-tested King Harold Godwinson, aka Harold the Saxon. The Viking Sagas will launch this fall. Pre-orders coming in later this summer. This has me thinking that's probably early fall, like September or October, if you're getting pre-orders in the summer. All right. There is already the AoE 3 expansion that was announced as well, the Baltic Powers, and if there's more single-player content, I might do videos on that, but it doesn't look like it. And they're doing something else for AoE 3 as well. Who cares about AoE Mobile? And that is that. So let's see more about the Viking Sagas. Yeah, I don't see a trailer, man. All right. Looks like we have some images to go through. Oh, okay, here we are. Let's take a quick look at this. Again, we can get rid of my face. All right, so new tents. This has to be some, I think this is probably the Saxons, if I had to guess, with the Western European architecture set. Obviously a bunch of longboats, berserks. I'm curious as to what they're going to do with berserks, actually, because you'd think that they would be available for all the Vikings. But those might be like the Hearth troops or whatever. Like, one of those is probably a wonder. This is probably the castle for the Saxons, if I had to guess. That's going to be so cool. Another one here as well. Look at these towers. I think this is probably a fortified tower, if I had to guess. This looks like maybe the Byzantines. No, those are cardinals, so maybe it's Italy. But yeah, more Scandinavian-looking stuff. New architecture set. So we're actually going to be seeing that. Love to see that. I assume this will be shared between the Vikings, Danes, and Varangians. Oh, this looks cool as well. Those are berserks. I wonder if this is... No, this isn't the regular Vikings because they already have that castle. Look at this architecture set, though. That's pretty neat looking. Oh, yeah, this is definitely the Varangians because those are the Jarls, unless they've significantly changed the unit model. Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, we'll have to see how the Vikings are reworked. And there is some text as well that we'll take a look at. Oh, we got a tree. We got a tree, guys. Is it the world tree? But yeah, more Viking-y stuff. Yeah, I have no idea the specifics here. I'm sure a lot of you guys, either in chat or in the YouTube comments, know a lot more about the Vikings than I do. All right, so let's see. 3 realms, 1 Viking warlord, your adventure. Unleash the fury of the North like never before with the latest expansion for AoE2 DE, the Viking Sagas. Set sail to embark on daring adventures, command the Danes, Saxons, and Varangians, each with their own stuff. Read more. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, that's clearly Byzantines. My face can be in this void. All right, so Danes. Pressure opponents early with swift longships to strike without warning. The unique Danish unit, the Jomsviking, is ideal for these raids as a nimble and hardy infantryman that hurls flaming torches. Yes, we saw that already. Saxons construct mighty fortified towns to lock down territory and stand firm against relentless invasions. The Saxon unique unit is the Hearth Troop, which we already read about. And then Varangians fearlessly master the waterways, ride down your foes, and leverage mercenary-style flexibility. The Jarl, the Varangian unique unit, is a fearsome axe-hurling cavalryman whose attacks tear through enemy infantry. My guess is that the Varangians are also going to represent the early, like the early Rus, like the Slavs, like Kiev in the early days, if I had to guess. So they're probably taking some inspiration from that as well. Sort of the halfway point between the Slavs and the Vikings. All right, leverage 6 unique units across these new civilizations, including 3 shared units. Varangian Guards, deadly shock infantry who generate gold while excel at fighting and raiding in melee combat. Wait, Varangian Guards are available to not just the Varangians? That's pretty crazy. Mounted crossbowmen. Ooh, interesting. Hard-hitting but slow-firing ranged cavalry to strike fear into infantry armies. And then longships, which are still there. So I guess Berserks are staying with the Vikings. And of course, I will be giving you guys all the content you could ask for. Oh, they're the mounted crossbowmen. Once I get access to it. So experience the epic saga of Harald Hardrada across 3 interconnected campaigns, from his cunning exploits across the Mediterranean, his brutal raids along the Danish coast, and his daring invasion of England. Earn renown through the Skald's Tales and fight your way through Scandinavia to the Kievan Rus and the Byzantine Empire before staking everything on English shores. Oh wait, we already saw that. So the X-File Prince is Vikings and Varangians. Cast out from Norway, where he must seek wealth and prestige in foreign lands, but his fierce ambition to reclaim his crown is tested under the shadow of the increasingly despotic Empress Zoe. A hard ruler is, I guess you're back in Scandinavia, fighting for Denmark and Norway. And then the last Viking. As the omens set the heavens ablaze, Harold fixes his gaze towards England's throne. Hello, Mr. Corgi. And, oh man, this is cool. I mean, if we're getting more European content, at least this is going to be interesting. But yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think of this expansion. Do you think it's cool? Oh, I think I saw a catapult galleon right there. But yeah, definitely let me know. This is at least interesting to me. The visuals look great as well. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'll, of course, keep you informed as to what's coming in the future, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys. This is, I thought it would be just the Danes and the Swedes added, and then Vikings are renamed to Norse, but I think we're keeping Vikings, and then they're adding the new stuff as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for the stream today. Glad we were able to catch this one. So we will have to see, guys. And I'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, this was definitely not expected today. Cool.